Okay, this is two of the kitchen rendering. We have saved out both the hidden line drawing and the color perspective rendering of the kitchen. Now we're ready to do some Photoshop work with them. First thing I'm going to do is go to the hidden. I have all these other lessons for my students here. I'm going to close. It's okay. First thing I'm going to do is go to the hidden line drawing. Check the image size. Make sure that it's the same pixel dimensions. These don't really matter. Finally, when you're working in Photoshop, the pixel dimensions are key. That's all that you need to look at. 1853, 1349, select all, copy, and then go to our kitchen perspective. Check the image size on it just in case. Same pixel dimensions, and just paste. So now we have a line drawing layer. Let's call it the hidden line. The background is simply the drawing itself. I'm going to duplicate it. It's a good idea to do that in case you perform any destructive commands in Photoshop and you inadvertently modify your drawing. So let's just call that kitchen base color layer. Now, I may not get to the third. I'd like to add a dimension of depth. We often composite a third wireframe representation of the model. But I want to sort of illustrate this mode of rendering. So let's maximize the Photoshop, because now we're going to be working almost exclusively in it. Double-clicking the hand tool centers the object there. Now you can see that I'm looking at my hidden line layer. Let's turn off the background layer. Not that it would make a difference, because the base colored layer is opaque. You can see that I could vary the opacity of this drawing, the hidden line drawing, and you get a gentle outline of what's going on there. But the real effect is achieved when you combine the blending modes, which is done here with this layer drop down. So multiply actually takes the image and composites it with the color layer below. Varying the opacity will give it a little less of an outline, right? Let's pause here a second. So those are the elements that we're going to be working with. Let's go back to the plain old normal opaque mode and talk about a couple things we need to do. We need to modify this drawing to get rid of this arbitrary background in outside the windows. So I'm going to create a selection. Very important to be able to do this in Photoshop. I teach this to IDC students and advanced IDC students as well. Using the polygonal lasso tool, it's easiest to outline angular shapes. Hold down the Shift key to add to that selection. You only need to tap it once, and then whatever you draw will be added. Shift again. Now we're going to nuke the top of that faucet. So we're going to have to live with that level of imperfection. So there's a selection that I want to save because I want to draw into that in order to create a background. And that's how, it's amazing how quickly that brings a drawing to life. I'm going to select, save that selection, and name it something meaningful. Window outline. Outlines. Okay? When you do that, that shows up in the channel, and you can illustrate what it is by selecting that channel there. It's beyond the scope of what we're doing here, but just so we know. So that we can invoke that selection at will. Control D to deselect. Select, reselect. Okay, if I delete what's in the window, I get a transparent background. Okay, we'll deal with that later. So I've modified the base color layer drawing in preparation for compositing these two drawings, these two layers. And that's the result so far. In lesson 3, we'll do the masking that allows us to blur the edges and focus and create a center of focus of part of the drawing that creates a little more excitement than just sort of rendering the entire thing as one big picture.